Hello everyone, I'm Isan. In this video, we'll review and see the advantages and disadvantages of Samsung Galaxy A54 5G. We will see various things from this latest Samsung A series smartphone, such as performance, cameras, displays, as well as design and software use. Okay, now let's talk about what are the advantages and disadvantages of this smartphone one by one. The first advantage of this smartphone, of course, is the display. The display already comes with a Super AMOLED display which is sharp and clear, and the screen also supports HDR10+. The HDR10+ feature is a screen technology that can improve the color quality and contrast in the video, so that the video colors displayed on the smartphone can look livelier and more dynamic. Apart from that, the screen also has a high refresh rate of 120Hz. This makes the animation and display of movement on the screen look smoother and pleasing to the eye. The 120Hz refresh rate in A54 5G series already comes with an adaptive refresh rate that can change automatically. It can change from 120Hz to 60Hz according to the movement on the screen. And of course, this can save a little more battery power than the 120Hz refresh rate. Then the front screen design also used the Infinity U or punch hole design on the smartphone, which of course looks more modern than those that still use Infinity U like in A34 5G series. Even though the bezel on the edge of the screen still looks quite thick, especially on the bottom bezel. And the thickness of the bezel on this smartphone also looks exactly the same like on A34 5G. Then for the front display, it has also been available with the Gorilla Glass 5 protection, which of course can prevent light scratches. And besides the front, the back also comes with glass material, which is also protected by the same Gorilla Glass 5. Furthermore, another advantage of this smartphone is that the software used is the latest, which is already using the latest One UI 5.1 based on Android 13. The UI display is also typical of Samsung smartphone, which looks clean and simple. Then for the software features, it is also classified as complete in this series. For features like NFC, link to Windows, modes, and secure folder, and then always on display and also extra dim are also available in this series. Next, for another thing that is also an advantage of this smartphone is its design. The newest design is available in this series that looks minimalist, clean, and simple. And the positive point is that the design also looks very similar to the flagship series, the S23 series. Especially since the back cover material on the back of the A54 already used glass material similar to the back cover on S23 series. And the camera frame also looks thicker and more visible than the A34 series. So the appearance of the rear design in the A54 series looks even more similar as the S23 series. Then apart from that, other advantages of A54 5G series which are also quite important are the dust and water resistant features with IP67 certification. With this IP67 certification, of course you don't have to worry too much if your smartphone is accidentally exposed to a little water. Then for the speakers, it also comes with stereo speakers. And of course, it also comes with the Dolby Atmos feature, which can slightly improve the bass quality of the speakers. Then for the security features when unlocking the smartphone, it also comes with a fingerprint feature which is already inside the display. And of course, the type of fingerprint used here is still optical and not ultrasonic. But here, even though it still uses optical and not ultrasonic, when you unlock the smartphone in a dark place, you don't have to worry about the light on the screen as a whole, because the one that will emit the maximum light is only on the fingerprint part. Then the next advantage is that the camera can produce photos and videos that are quite good in its class. For the quality of the camera, it can produce photos and videos in various conditions with a good quality. In addition, the camera features are also quite complete. On the far left, you can find the fun menu in the camera application. Then beside it, there is a portrait mode as well as standard photo and video modes. For videos, it supports 4K 30fps recording, and it also supports Full HD 60fps. And here you can also use this resolution directly on the rear camera as well as on the front camera. Then there is also an ultra-wide lens which has a resolution of 12 megapixel, and it can produce pretty good photos and videos as well. Especially if you compare the results of the photos and videos with the results of the ultra-wide camera from A34 5G, which only comes with 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. For the quality of the ultra-wide and low-light cameras, here of course they are also slightly better than the A54 5G. To see some example of photos and videos as well as comparisons with the A54 5G series, you can check the link in the upper right corner of this video. Then apart from that, in the camera application, there are also various modes that are quite complete. There are Pro modes, Pro Video, Single Take, then there are also Night modes, Food modes, Panoramas, Macro, Super Slow-Mo, then there are also Slow Motion and Hyperlapse modes. In this section, there is also the Bixby Vision feature and also the AR Zone feature. In the AR Zone feature, here you can find the AR Emoji Studio feature. Then there is also the AR Emoji Camera, AR Emoji Stickers, AR Doodle, and also Deco Pic. For the Deco Pic, you have to download it directly from the Galaxy Store first. Then for the performance, Samsung Galaxy A54 5G comes with the Exynos 1380 chipset 5nm. And for the AnTuTu benchmark score, when we tested, it can reach 500,000. For this chipset, it is the latest chipset from Samsung, which comes with a performance that is actually quite good in its class. Although unfortunately when we try it, there are some deficiencies that we find from this chipset. The first downside is when we try to play games on the smartphone. For high graphics setting in some games, unfortunately it still can't be activated in this series. For example, as for the PUBG mobile game settings, it can only be set to a maximum on HD high only, and it still can't be activated for the smooth extreme setting, let alone the HDR ultra. This is quite unfortunate because if we compare it with the A54 5G, the settings for this PUBG mobile game can immediately go to smooth extreme and can even go to HDR ultra. For the drawback, this might also be because the chipset is still new and the game developers haven't unlocked the high graphics settings for this chipset. Because when we're trying the new game like the new state game, which is a new version of PUBG, the settings can be directly set for high graphics on this smartphone. When we play the new state game on A54 5G, the gameplay is good and smooth on high graphics, and the gameplay is also playable and comfortable to play. However, when we try to play this game at its maximum settings for a little longer, the temperature of the smartphone immediately feels warmer in the hand when compared to when playing games on Samsung A54 5G with the same game and also the same graphics settings. The difference in temperature is also immediately visible when we test the AnTuTu benchmark on A54 5G and compare the temperature during the test on A34 5G. However, for standard use without too heavy gaming, the performance of A54 5G is already quite good in its class. Then in this series, what you also need to pay attention to is that Samsung A54 5G is no longer available with 3.5mm audio jack. And for the SIM card slot is also hybrid and there is no dedicated slot for micro SD cards. So you can only use dual nano SIM or you can only use one SIM card and one micro SD card. And then for other shortcomings of A54 5G, the smartphone also doesn't available with a charger adapter directly inside the box. And then to see the camera sample of the A54 5G and the comparison with the A34 5G, you can directly tap on the video that appears on your screen. Hopefully useful, see you in the next video.